Guys, my name is Palpatine Bricks and today we're going through to the year of 2003. I've been doing these videos on every single LEGO Star Wars set ever released and we're up to the 4th episode with the year being 2003. It had a lot of variety in sets, it had a poly bag, it had a couple mini sets in these little satchels which we'll take a look at, some of the medium to large sets, and of course the holy grail of LEGO Star Wars, as well as a UCS Snowspeeder. So we'll take a look at all these sets, a lot of variety, I must say, even a Technic set, some of the Clone Wars sets, some of Jabba sets, some of TIE Bombers, a lot of different things in this wave, but we'll be taking a look at the smallest to the largest in this wave, so let's check it out right now. Set that we have in this wave is the 3219 Mini TIE Fighter. This was a poly bag released in 2003, nothing special, it is just a TIE Fighter, simply put. But that's what we got in this first wave. This year, LEGO Star Wars made a tough decision into making mini building sets. Now, in this year, we had 8 of these mini building sets that were released in this year. We had 4 smaller ones and 4 bigger ones. Now, taking a look at the first small one, we've got the 4484 76 pieces with a TIE Advanced as well as an X-Wing fighter. So all of these were kind of sets that were against each other. So you have the TIE Fighter attacking the X-Wing, which is pretty cool. 76 pieces, and then you've got the other ones in that year showing off what was in that year. So that's the first one. Now the second one we have is the 4485. Now this one is the Sebulba's Pod Racer against the Anakin's Pod Racer. So this one was based on episode 1, 72 pieces, and it also shows off the other ones in that year as well. Now the third one we've got is the 4486. This is based on Hoth, and it doesn't show the piece count, it's probably a non-European one, and then it shows the other ones at the back as well. And then the fourth and last one out of these small ones is the 4487, which is the Jedi Starfighter, or Obi-Wan's Jedi Starfighter, against the Slave 1 Jango Fett Slave 1, which also shows off the 4. So we get 4 of these small ones, and then we go to the big ones like the 4488 with it being the Millennium Falcon. Of course, we do have to have a Millennium Falcon. Then we have a AT-AT Walker, probably the worst mini building set here. It looks the ugliest in my opinion. It's got 98 pieces and 7 plus as well. So note, all of these sets are 7 plus, all these small ones. Then we've got the 4490, which is by far the best mini building set ever created. It is the gunship based on Attack of the Clones, as you can see there. It's not entirely movie accurate with it being clear, as you can see, but it's still very nice to have a gunship here, as you can see. And a cool thing that they were actually doing in 2003 was actually, if you had all these sets together, you could actually make a Y-Wing. So if you open up all these sets that we have here, all these 4, it makes a Y-Wing. The last one we've got is the MTT, which is also a mini building set with 4491, and it also shows off the same exact thing. So all these sets are very, very similar. They show off the same exact thing. There being 4 small ones which are against each other, and then we've got 4 bigger ones that are kind of standalone. You could put them against each other, like for example the Millennium Falcon against the AT-AT, or the MTT against the gunship. You could do that if you want. It's not entirely movie accurate, but it's nice to have some lore if you're into sort of that stuff. Couple sets we've got is these 2 small sets. LEGO Star Wars had a good idea with these smaller sets. Kind of like a battle pack, but more of a display set as well. The first one I've got is the Jabba's Prize. It's 4476. It had 2 minifigures and the Han Solo and Carbonite in the background. The build itself is not that nice, but I do love the minifigures. And if you were to buy this today, you'd spend around $300 trying to get this set. And you can see the actual figures that were in the movie in the background, which is pretty cool. The same scenes from that movie, we've got Jabba's Message, 4475 with 44 pieces and 3 minifigures this time, with one being R2-D2, C-3PO, and of course that guy right there. Shows off them being in the actual movie and actually approaching the astromech there in the background. It also shows off some of the sets that were released in that year, with being the Jabba's Palace and also the T16 Skyhopper. So we'll take a look at that one right now. The set we've got in 2003 is the T16 Skyhopper. It's got 96 pieces, and 4477 is the set number. Very nice box art. I actually really like this. It's very nice and shiny. It has these T16 Skyhopper pilot on the side, and also the background shows off how you can change them into a, you know, an actual ship and a TIE fighter sort of looking ship. You've got Luke there in the background with the ship being in the background, and an actual model of it which looks like it's in someone's house, just like done a picture on my table, which is a bit weird. And then you've got the sets released in that year. What we've got is the 4478 Geonosian fighter. Now this included a turret as well as the ship itself and 4 minifigures. We get 2 Geonosians and 2 droids. Now these droids are actually fairly expensive because they are a bit of a different tan sort of color, and they're not the same as the normal ones. So you can see them there: Geonosian soldier, Geonosian pilot, and 2 battle droids. Very cool to see if you've seen the movie. I do really like the set. It looks like they've changed it into some cricket actually, and then also a flying bird or something if you want to change it to that. And then also the actual figures themselves in the movie, as you can see there in the bottom right corner. Set doesn't really have a set number as the other ones, but it is a Lego Star Wars bonus pack. Now this got released because Lego had excess stock in these small building sets. So as you can see, it does include all 4 building sets like this one here, all 4 in this packet itself. So if you didn't want to get them one by one, you could get this whole entire mini box and then you get all 4 in one. Pretty cool to see that Lego Star Wars did something like a promotional set, and you can actually see at the background it says uncover the extra vehicle you must, and it shows every single set that was in those sets being flown and built in that little spiral there, and also mini with Lego Star Wars being the bold title. Very cool to see. It's not an actual set, I would say. It's still a set in the list if you need to collect every single set, but it's not an official sort of set like the ones in the back. Some of the bigger sets. Now, as you can see in my right hand, I have the TIE Bomber. So this was actually a very cool set. A lot of people really wanted a re-release of this set until it got released back in 2023, I believe. But this is the original 4479 TIE Bomber. The top shows the TIE Bomber pilot as well as the latch opening, and the back shows the shooter shooting out of the actual bomber itself, the bombs being loaded. Then you can actually drop them by pulling the lever at the back, and then boom, you're dropping them on people. Then you've got the TIE Bomber in the movie, as well as the TIE Pilot. So, very cool to see, and there's some kind of weird build here. And the T16 Skyhopper, as well as the Jabba's Palace there in the background. Very nice little set. This is probably one of my favorites in this year. Even though it's not that crazy, it's still really nice. What we have on this list is the Jabba's Palace. 234 pieces. One of my favorites, as you can tell. Not really, but it's very nice. It is very underrated, to be honest. I don't hear anyone talk about this set at all anymore, which is a bit weird. We've got the newer Jabba's Palace and the Boba Fett's Palace. Not really comparing to this one because this one is that old and not many people even know this existed. We've got Slave Leia as well as Jabba himself, Luke falling into the Rancor pit, and that little droid, as well as that, I can't remember what that's called, but that little spider droid that was in the movie. The back actually shows off a Luke steering a plane to go into some tower. And then we've got a couple scenes from the actual movie where you got Jabba obviously sitting next to Leia, and then also a frog where he eats, and then Luke when he falls into the Rancor pit. Fortunately, there was no Rancor in this set. There wasn't anything like that. In the newer one, the 2013 or 14 one, we did see an occurrence of the Rancor and the Rancor pit where you could actually combine the two sets. But that's when we get to that year in my later videos, which we will, because we have all those sets now. But this is the 2003 Jabba's Palace, as you can see. Nothing that special, really nice box. A bit thicker than the TIE Bomber itself, but it's nothing that special. Let's get into the biggest sets. Here, there was only one singular Technic Lego Star Wars set. As you've seen in the other videos, you would see that there was a lot of these Lego Star Wars Technic sets with C-3POs, Darth Vaders, and so forth. Now, this was the last one, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure if there's any more in 2004. I would have to double check, but it will be in my next video. This is the Hellfire Droid, arguably the best Technic set to be released. This is probably one of the best sets that got released with Lego Star Wars Technic. It's 4481 Hellfire Droid, and it has this massive rings. This set is really big. I do love this set a lot. It shows that it can actually crawl, and then you can see the actual original price being $60, which is crazy. You couldn't get this below $500 nowadays. The back shows off the actual Hellfire Droid moving. Then you can actually pull it and pull out the gun, which is pretty cool. And then it shows you the battlefield of the ATT, the gunship, and, you know, the Hellfire Droid and the Geonosian pilots and stuff like that. So pretty cool to see that actual battle was there. And it shows off the gunship from the year before, which is also pretty cool to see. But that wraps it up for the Lego Star Wars Technics for this year. To the big boys of the 2003 wave. Starting us off with the ATT, which kind of goes well with the gunship from the year before. We've got the 4482 ATT, one of my favorite ATTs, with also a speeder and those original clone troopers from 2000s. So I love this set. It is very nice. It shows off a astromech being built by the ATT, the inside of the ATT, opening of the latch and the turret at the top, opening the back latch with the speeder coming out, and also that big cool scene with all those sets like the gunship, Jedi Bob, the Geonosian fighters, and so forth. So very cool to see, and a couple more photos of them in action. Very cool to see. I do love this ATT. It is probably one of my favorite sets of all time. We have on this list is the 4483 AT-AT with 1,064 pieces. So we're ramping up the piece count quite a lot now. We've got Luke hanging by the thread, a snow trooper going on a snow speeder, and another snow trooper there in the snow. This is the AT-AT from the first year ever made. We also have the snow troopers there in the back. Also some snow, I don't know why the quality is so bad, but let me just fix it for you guys. Then we have the AT-AT driver there in the snow, and some of the scenes from the movie with being snow troopers, Luke running away and being in the walker itself. And then another one of the sets behind it. So it's actually pretty interesting to see that, you know, they're both their separate sets. So that's the AT-AT Walker from 4483 from 2000. What we have is the first and last UCS model of the year 2003. It's the Rebel Snowspeeder. 1457 pieces, so around 400 more pieces than the AT-AT Walker, which would work nice with this set on display. 10129 is the set number if you wanted to purchase it. Love the custom background, the Walker in the back, and just the whole box art itself. It probably wins the cake for one of the best box arts in the game by Lego. With the UCS plaque, opening of the hood, and also the hood there with the seats, as well as it being on an angle whilst flying and attacking those AT-AT walkers. Opening of the engines, and also the back of the engines with the landing pads. Pretty cool to see. Again, very nice UCS set for this year. Many more to come after this year, but it's a very nice set for 2003. On this list, we've got the 10123. Now, everyone in the LEGO community knows what this set is. It's one of the most high profitable and high growing assets in the LEGO whole universe. So, it's one of the most expensive sets to date. Even though it only got released for $100 and something, it's gone up to over $10,000 new in box. Now, the simple reason for this is, if you don't know, is the minifigures. The set itself doesn't offer that much. It is Cloud City, which we have had a re-release of. not many people actually bought this set when it did get released, but the minifigures is the thing that everyone searches for. Now, the minifigures are placed at the top of this box, showing off Princess Leia, Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Lando Calrissian, Boba Fett, Darth Vader, and a Stormtrooper. Now, some of these minifigures are extremely uncommon, and they don't really add anything to this set, but there's four specific minifigures which make this set pop so much on the aftermarket, like eBay, Amazon, and all those different, communities, etc. And that's because of these three minifigures: Luke, Lando, and Boba Fett. Now, Boba Fett being the biggest one because it was the first time it got introduced with arm printing, which is why this set went up so much in value. Lando Calrissian is because of that cape. The minifigure itself only reaches about $100, but the cape itself goes for about $200, $300. So that's pretty interesting as well. Now, Luke is because of the torso and the legs. The head, hair, and arms, etc. are not that expensive, but it's gone up in value. So that minifigure itself fetches for around 600 Australian dollars. So the Boba Fett being the most expensive, which goes 2,000 and up. Then you've got Lando being around 500 and Luke being around 600-700. So you pick and choose which one you want, but they are very expensive. The back of the model shows off this set itself. The Millennium Falcon taking off, which is the year after, which is pretty interesting to see that they've actually leaked the set that is released the year next. So it actually shows that it's released the 8th of the 1st, 2004. So they actually showed off some of the sets that were released in the future. Then it shows that this set is actually separated into 3 scenes. We've got Darth Vader fighting Luke in the chamber. Then we've got Luke being flipped by Darth Vader. And then Darth Vader almost killing Luke on the edge on Cloud City. Then it shows off the entire set, the front and back with all the figures in there. Then it shows off the landing pad, which is very good pad for that 2002 Slave 1 that could land here. Then we've got a bit of a spinning thing there where you can actually open the door and stuff. So this was actually a very good playset. Then you have a little tug wheel to actually put Han Solo into carbonite. And then he comes out in carbonite. So this set actually offers a lot for 2003. Imagine 4 years into the business, Star Wars is blowing up, and this is a set that they release. Not many people did like it in the first couple years, but then it just skyrocketed. This set is full with a lot of different techniques and features, as well as the minifigures being the biggest thing. Now that wraps it up for the 2003 wave of LEGO Star Wars. Every single LEGO Star Wars set ever made. I will be making these episodes all the way from 1999, which I've done, to 2025, which I have. So slowly but surely I'll be getting there. Stay tuned for the next video and make sure to like and subscribe down below.